All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are talking about something we all know, that moment when your motivation just completely evaporates. We're going to break down exactly how to push through when you feel like you're ready to just give up.
You know that feeling, right? You're pouring everything you've got into a project, a goal, maybe just getting through the week, and then, bam, you hit a wall. You're just spinning your wheels going absolutely nowhere. It's so frustrating, but honestly, it's also completely human.
And the very first thing you need to know is that you are definitely not alone in this. This isn't some kind of personal failing or a sign of weakness. It's just part of the process. It happens to literally everyone who tries to do something meaningful. So let's talk about the wall. That's what it feels like, doesn't it? This invisible force that just stops you dead in your tracks. But what's really going on here? Well, it actually has a name. Psychologists call it motivational inertia, and it is such a perfect description. It's that point where the effort to just take one more step feels huge, like way bigger than any possible reward you could imagine. It's kind of like basic physics, really. An object at rest tends to stay at rest, and right now, you're that object. And that's the real trap, isn't it? Because giving up starts to sound really, really good. It just feels so much easier than fighting for that next step. But that's exactly what we're here to do. Figure out how to take that next step.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we smash through that wall? Well, I've got 5 super practical keys that will help unlock your motivation and get you moving again. Think of this as your go-to toolkit for when you feel stuck. So here's what's in the toolkit. We're going to talk about breaking it down, remembering your why, changing your scenery, tracking your progress, and talking it out. Sounds simple? I know, but trust me, this stuff really works. All right, number 1.
Break it down. Look, big goals are great, but man, can they be paralyzing? It's like standing at the bottom of a huge mountain and just staring at the peak. You get overwhelmed before you even start. The secret is to stop looking at the top and just focus on the very first step on the path.
I mean, check out this difference. On one hand, you've got this goal, write a 20-page report. That just sounds exhausting, doesn't it? But on the other hand, what if your goal was just open a new document and type the title? That's it. Anyone can do that. And that is the tiny little push that breaks the spell of inertia. Okay, so you've taken that tiny first step. Now what? Now for key number 2. Remember your why. It's so easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day grind and completely forget the reason you started this whole thing in the first place. You've got to reconnect with that original passion, that big picture. It's like putting gas back in the tank. Think about it. When we're stuck, we get totally obsessed with the how. All the boring, stressful, difficult parts. But if you can force yourself to shift your focus to the why, the awesome final result, the people you'll help, the feeling of accomplishment, it completely changes the game. It reframes everything. All right, key number 3 takes us from what's inside our heads to what's outside. Let's talk about changing your scenery. Sometimes that rut you're in is, well, it's a literal physical rut. Your brain is just bored of staring at the same old thing. So get up. Go work from a cafe, a park, anywhere. Even a quick walk can totally reset your brain. I mean, that phrase, stuck in a rut, it feels like you're literally trapped by the same 4 walls, right? It just makes that stuck feeling even worse. But when you get into a new environment, you get new input, new ideas start to spark, and suddenly that mental block starts to crumble. Okay, on to number 4. And this one is huge. Track your progress. So often when we feel stuck, it's because all we see is the giant mountain of work still ahead of us. But what if you just turned around for a second? Look back at the path you've already climbed. Seeing how far you've come is such a powerful motivator. And that's the key right there. Focusing on what's left can just crush your spirit. But focusing on what you've already done, that proves to yourself that you're capable. It's undeniable evidence that you can do this because, hey, look, you've already been doing it. And that leads us to number 5, our final key, and honestly, this might be the most important one of all.
Talk it out. Seriously, stop trying to do it all alone. This is not a solo mission. Just grabbing a friend or a mentor and saying, hey, I'm really struggling with this can be a total game changer. Sometimes just hearing yourself say it out loud changes everything.
It really is the difference between being alone with your problem, where it feels massive and impossible, and sharing it, which can give you a totally new perspective. They might not even have the answer. Just getting a little encouragement and clarity can be all the fuel you need.
So there you have it, 5 simple, powerful tools. And these aren't just, nice ideas. These are actual things you can do the very next time you feel that motivation start to slip. This is your personal toolkit for getting unstuck.
Let's run through them one last time. First, break it down into the smallest possible step. Second, remember your why. Third, change your scenery. Fourth, track your progress and look back at what you've done. And fifth, talk it out with someone. Don't go it alone.
So the only thing left now is to actually use one of them. I want to leave you with a question to chew on. The next time that wall pops up in front of you, which key from this toolkit are you going to try first?